I made some challenge cards for my Cubelets, and I'm going to have a crack at doing some right now. First one I want to have a go is make an upright robot with 2 flashlights facing the front that can travel across the surface that you're working on without falling over. So here we go. I'm going to get a couple of flashlights and put a set of drive Cubelets or wheels underneath. Going to chuck a battery on, and we're going to put the dial or knob on top, because then you can control how fast it goes very easily. You don't want to go on too fast. You've got to make sure the wheels are in the right way. I think it's around the right way. Actually, it's going backwards, so let's just turn that around a bit. And then Bob is our encore. It's going, and it's not falling over. Well done. Our next challenge is to make a robot that moves in never-ending circles using a flashlight Cubelet to power a brightness sensor. So we're going to put one of these brightness sensors on top of a flashlight, and that's going to control it because the light's going to shine into the brightness sensor, which will keep it going. And we're just going to make some sort of cube out of 8 different Cubelets. And once the brightness sensor's on top of the light, then it should keep going like this. Correctamundo. Nice. Next up, we're going to make a robot which tilts back and forth. That's right, it's going to make a robot that rocks back and forth, and it's going to look like this. So I've got to grab a couple of sets of drive Cubelets, and I'm going to put them opposite ways. So one's going outwards, the other one's going the opposite way outwards. And then we're going to add some more. We've got to have a battery and a sensor. It seems to be tilting pretty good. And then we're going to make it rock. Yeah, man, it's rocking because one set of wheels is going one way and the other set of wheels is going the other way. And it's awesome. But let's make it rock more. Oh, I kind of get stuck. So what can I do to fix that? I know, I can take the lights off and put spinners or rotators on there. Woohoo! Here we go. That's never fallen over. Woohoo! Rocking back and forth like a genius. I've made a robot that rocks back and forth. Now it's time for my next challenge. My next challenge is to make a robot that looks like a funny face. For goodness sake, let's get some, I'll use some flashlights for eyes, I reckon, because they're nice and round and bright. We'll use a couple of flashlights for the eyes. Then we've got to somehow get a nose happening, maybe a brown piece for a nose. We'll use a bar graph for a mouth. It can be a mouth on a bit of an angle, no worries. A couple of green cheeks going on. And actually, we might add the red ears and green cheeks and the battery up the top. Oh yeah, now we're cooking with gas. That looks like a funny face. I made a robot that looks like a funny face. Now we're going to make a robot where the base stays still, but it spins the letter T when it gets warm. So we're going to have to use a temperature sensor for this one. So I've got a spinner in the middle of the base. I'm making a large letter T shape, and we're going to put a bar graph on there to see how much warmth is in the temperature sensor as we blow on it. And that looks pretty good to me. So let's blow on it now and we'll see if it actually spins when it gets warm. Looking good. The next card says to make a robot where the closer your hand is, the slower it spins. So I had to use an inverter or an inverse Cubelet, which is the red one, which basically makes the black Cubelet do the opposite. So the distance sensor would actually make the robot slow down when I put my hand close to it. But I also had to use a couple of dark green blockers so the message didn't get confused, because there's lots of Cubelets touching other Cubelets here. So I threw a couple of dark green blockers in there. Now if you like my cards, I've got them for sale in my shop, and they are $25 US to buy the whole set. There's not just the ones that involve the puzzles that I've been doing with the pink ones, but there's a whole lot of other photographic ones as well. So there's all the pink ones I showed you, plus plenty more. There's 32 pink ones, and there's actually 32 puzzles just with photos. So it shows you how to do the activities by collecting a few Cubelets and then creating what's in the photo. Click on the link in the description to go to my shop, and you can have your own set of cards. You can print as many as you like for your school or for your classroom. If you've got 3 sets of Cubelets, you can make 3 sets of cards. If you've got 10 sets of Cubelets, you can make 10 sets of cards. You can print as many as you need. They're also available in letter size as well as A4 size. so you can print the ones that match your paper size. If you want to find out more about Cubelets, check out my tutorial video here.